I always kind of like to work with the same idea and present them in different forms. For this occasion in Vancouver, I decided to use plywood and cancel the whole facade of the building, or part of it, and use the color red and black. That these colors are related to strikes, to union strikes, and to protest. And the difference between the other installations I've done, this is in the outside. Normally, when you have it inside an institution or a building, you know you're entering an artwork. Here it's different. People are just passerbys and they have to confront this. It's not graffiti, but handwriting on the street. It comes from this culture of protest. No? Like normally when you see a message spray paint on the front of a building, it's always like it's a protest of society. So I kind of like to question that here it's like the look of a protest. At the end, every protest is banal, even in society. We are so controlled about everything that even you're allowed to protest, and that takes the protest out of the equation, no? So it's very strange how to deal with having an opinion in society. At the end of the day, it's like you're allowed to have it, and by that, it doesn't mean anything. Every time I do this installation, I wait 2 or 3 days before installing to research which quotes are there, which headlines are in the newspapers, and I try to incorporate. And it's very important how I select the headlines, because I want to be specific, but then I want to be also abstract in general. So it's how you can balance the idea that they can become very frame at time, and also can be timeless. Movie last line, I always take them from dramatic films, because I kind of like to contrast that with reality and fiction. And I think we all live a drama, and it's part of our lives. And yeah, I always incorporate to my list new films, but it's more or less like a general history of films, no? From Citizen Kane to movies like The Wolf of Wall Street, that is a recent movie, so I try to mix them. I've been working with language for a long time, and when I do my own writing, I always have it displayed in the same font, that it's Arial black, and the same size, that's 20 centimeters tall each letter. And in this case, for this new installation, because it was about appropriating text, I wanted to make that difference. That there's my handwriting, so that's a contradiction, no? In the text pieces, it's my writing, but I use like a common typeface, and in this case, I use my handwriting, but I appropriate the text. And also, in terms of the meaning, I kind of feel that the handwriting, it's like the voice of society. It's like, it feels more like the sound in your head, not like how you're shaped. Not like, so whenever the spectator comes in to see the installation, it has more sound. For me, it's more important. I think the quality of the handwriting, it's like the anonymous voice or the sublime voice inside society. In my practice, I always, in this resistance to the concept and to the form, you're always fighting between those two things. No, sometimes you don't want to be too charged of meaning, but then you don't want it only to be a form. So it's always that resistance to both form and concept, and this idea that those two ideas contradict themselves. That's the tension I like to build up. You know, like it's never too designed, or it's never too intellectual. It's always, it's like schizophrenic, you know? Like it looks conceptual, but then it's a form, but it's not a form. So it's always shifting, and I'm interested always in that internal contradiction when I make work. Because at the end of the day, it's formal and it's conceptual, and it's immaterial, but it's visible, and you know, like it's always it's an existential problem, and to create that tension is what the work is about.